Hello, good morning. Thank you so much for joining the webinar today. This is 𝗟𝗘𝗧𝗦𝗏 from MassMailer. Today I'm going to talk about what is email deliverability, why do you really need it, and who actually can help you, and why do you think you may need to hire an email deliverability expert. I'm sure your company must have been sending email campaigns, either using MassMailer or some other service provider. And if you've been sending out bulk email campaigns, you must have noticed the kind of statistics what you're getting may vary from campaign to campaign. The open rate, deliverability rate, delivery rate, click rate, bounce rate, block rate, various type of statistics may vary. Why would that really happen? It can improve or it can decrease. It can just go oscillate in between, right? As we have progressed through the internet evolution for the past few decades, and of course, the email has been there forever, we must have noticed, whether it is a business email or a personal email, it's not very easy to safely assume that whenever you send an email, it's actually going to go hit the inbox of the recipient server. That just because of the security measures that are in place and the spam filter softwares that are tightening the screws and analyzing and looking at the authentication mechanism, whether you set up your domain and IP properly or not. Are you a good sender or a bad sender? Is your content good or bad? Are you sending it to the right people? Do you have the right engagement? There are various things that the recipient servers actually look at, and they take a decision whether they want to put your email into the inbox or put it in the spam folder or some other folder, like the way Gmail does. So even though you expect that you're sending a campaign, whether it's a newsletter, product info, or sign up information, it's just going to go to the inbox, but it may not happen sometimes. And sometimes you may not even know where this email actually went, because the security measures are so tight. It may just get rejected, it may just get quarantined. You got to get the IT involved to figure out where this email has gone, even if it's not in the spam folder. A lot of complexities that are involved, and you'll be shocked to know that 20% of the emails may go to the spam folder without even you noticing it, because nobody knows if the recipient, whoever is going to receive the email, and they don't know that you're sending out an email, and they basically are may not be looking at the spam folder at all, right? So basically, the email that you sent is unnoticed, and it can happen up to 20% of the emails that you're sending. So that's the reason why the email deliverability is very, very important for any business that's trying to achieve higher level of success, when they're sending out bulk or mass email campaigns. And when I say higher level of success, it is, the open rate, the deliverability rate, your IP reputation, various things that definitely are gonna improve the overall email deliverability. And who's an email deliverability expert? So email deliverability expert has certain skills, not it's a technical skill, obviously, who can actually get you close to 100% email deliverability. I'm just saying 100%, close to 100%, just because it's never possible to get 100% email deliverability. When I say close to 100%, it can be 90, it can be 95, it can be 98. I do not know. It all depends on, again, your own list of contacts that you're sending, what you're sending, when you're sending, and the kind of engagement that you're getting. So various aspects really influence the overall deliverability. And what does an email deliverability expert typically do, or what kind of skills that they have, and what do they really offer to you? You may have complex, or you may have some basic issue. They can tackle any kind of email deliverability issue that you have. It could be just the basic, meaning you've not set up your the DKM or SPF or DMARC, which is the basic, and they can tackle that. Maybe one of the ISPs is blocking your emails, like AT&T. Email deliverability experts can take a look at it and kind of explain to you, or maybe perhaps resolve the issue as well. And they typically conduct an audit, meaning whenever you say that I have some issues, they can basically get on a call and figure out what is going on. And once you kind of explain what's going on, what the issue is, they would have to conduct an audit for any single problem. The audit can be basic or elaborative based on the issues that you have. And also they get into the email monitoring, meaning how the campaigns have been sending, and what kind of results you're getting, statistics. They will constantly monitor. They would also review everything, and the best practices, meaning what is your behavior, how are you actually sending these emails, and provide some best practices as well. And if you have any blacklist or spam trap and blocks issues with certain ISPs, meaning internet service provider like Gmail, Microsoft, Yahoo, AOL, and all of that, they can help you with that. And also the basic, which is the IP and the domain warming, and how do you really scale. So if your goal is to achieve, say, or send million emails per month, you have to go with a proper strategy to really scale up. So you have to work with an expert who can actually guide you through on how to really scale up. Of course, first and foremost thing, whenever you're sending out a campaign, you obviously receive the metrics. So they would actually look at your metrics, compare the results from the day 1 to whatever, day 180, and let you know, okay, this is how the progress is. When it comes to before starting any analysis and best practices, and after troubleshooting and implementing a certain roadmap to achieve better success, so they're gonna compare all of that, manage your campaign statistics as well, and will try to get you the best reputation possible. And obviously, they have to make recommendations and some sort of a strategy, plan everything out with you in the upcoming campaigns, fix anything that is quickly fixable, and follow the best practices, and help you to really get higher results. So basically, that's what an email expert does. So he's gonna come in and help you to get a better email deliverability and better sending reputation. And that's why it is recommended that you hire the right person, because ultimately, when you're putting a lot of efforts in sending out campaigns without achieving the results or good results, all your efforts may go waste, or there could be some sort of a impact on your business as well. And when you're trying to work with an expert, you really have to prepare or prep yourself. Even though the initial introduction or introductory call can kind of explain to you. But even before you try to work with anyone, if you have certain knowledge about what kind of a configuration has been done in your company, you can work with your IT team, make sure that whether it is inbound or outbound emails are not getting blocked. You can work with your IT and then figure out the SPF, DKM, and DMARC. Those values are set up properly or not. And you can also look at the sending reputation, especially when you're sending out campaigns. You can easily take a look at the block messages and see if anything is getting blocked or rejected by any ISPs out there. And you can also look at your reputation, especially Google can provide you that, and Microsoft can provide you that. They have tools, you can sign up for their tools and find out the sending reputation. Even SendGrid provides what is your current deliverability score. Even MassMailer has a tool that can analyze your infrastructure and provide you the deliverability score for any specific campaign, even before you actually send it. And it can also analyze your infrastructure. So you got to kind of get or gather that information as much as possible, and make sure that your domain and IP is not blacklisted. So you would know what IP you're actually using with your campaign. So you got to just go check. There are many tools available to check the block list. Even MassMailer can provide you that information as well using the email monitor plugin. And have you taken any preventive measures? I mean, at least do you have any idea about it? Like, have you ever done any IP warm-up? Have you cleaned up your database? You may be acquiring emails on a regular basis. Are you actually cleaning it up or not? Are you removing any bad ones? Because you don't want to keep sending emails to the bad ones and get rejected. Do you know if your content is good or bad? Are there any spammy words? And is your email actually rendering properly on various devices? Have you taken any kind of measures like this? And again, MassMailer email monitor and email verification service can help you with all of this. But you got to make sure that you take certain preventive measures, because when you know that you have to follow certain best practices, you spend some time to make sure that you actually check all these boxes before you send a campaign. That way you can prevent any kind of a bad reputation that may happen to your domain and IP address. And obviously, once you have all this information, email deliverability expert can actually review how you're sending these email campaigns, and they can come up with a plan or a better approach that will help you achieve better results and success. And how do you work with an email deliverability expert? First of all, you have to set your own goals and priorities. If you already have experienced certain issues, what is the actual problem? Is the problem with the open rate or a bounce rate or in a block list? Do you have any issues with the sending reputation? Maybe your IP and the domain is not even authenticated properly. Somewhere you have to start and say, hey, here is what's going on, and I want to achieve better results, but I also want to troubleshoot and fix what is going on. That's a problem for your email infrastructure, sending behavior, content, whatever it may be. And you have to capture certain information for sure in order for the audit to start. Start with the domain. What is your IP? What's your domain? What are you using to send these campaigns? What kind of metrics or statistics that you have so far? What kind of an email infrastructure you have? Where do you host your DNS server? And then what kind of content you're actually using? Email template. All of this information, and also who are you sending these emails? Do you have a list? Do you know anything is bouncing? Is it good or bad? Do you have any idea about your reputation, sender reputation? All this information you have to capture at least to a certain extent. If you have any kind of results already that you have handy, provide that information. Obviously, email deliverability expert is actually gonna work with you to get all of this information and also run certain tests and get you the audit report. Audit report will have a detailed analysis if whatever the problem may be, or it'll have the basic analysis as well and the detailed analysis both. That way, you have to make sure that you have set up your DNS values, which is for the DKIM, SPF, and DMARC kind of a thing. You have to check all those boxes for sure. And once you've gathered certain information about your existing campaigns, even those things would be analyzed and looked at. Okay, why, if anything is getting blocked, why are these blocks happening? All of that information analysis audit report will have. And it not only will have the information, it will also have, what is a resolution? How do you really fix it? Recommendations would be provided in that audit report. And also a proper strategy on how to really implement all the best practices. Meaning, if it was a simple thing that, let's say you are setting a template and template is having a link to some third-party domain, and you never know that the third-party domain is blacklisted, but you're still using that third-party domain, that's a roadblock. And the recipient server might just block you, even though it's not an issue from your side, but there's a problem with the content, which you never noticed, right? So those things, could be easily fixable. But if there's any other problem where you're sending it to, the list of people where you're getting higher bounce rate, you really have to clean up the data. So everything would be looked at and analyzed properly, and a strategy, a proper long-term or a short-term to long-term strategy would be given. That way you can actually follow the best practices and achieve better results. While we can think that email deliverability expert has got a magic hand and he or she can fix all the problems that you have in the world, but that's not true. There's certain things that these experts cannot do. Just listed out a few of them here. They cannot make ISP forward all your emails to inbox. Well, they can certainly help influence, what can be done from your side, but they cannot just go influence third-party providers or ISPs to just forward your emails to inbox and accept you as a good sender with a best reputation, because the reputation has to be gained, or you got to show that you're a good sender over a period of time. Nothing can happen overnight, and they can just change your reputation by configuring or tweaking something in the recipient server side. That cannot happen. Also, there's no way they can just trick the recipient servers and try to accept your emails so that they don't apply any filters and just go to inbox straight away. No, that's also not possible. You can only follow the best practices, whatever guidelines that are provided as per the industry standards, and assume that recipient servers will put your email into the inbox. And they can't just go influence any block listing providers and tell them, hey, never blocklist this IP and domain. They can't do that. So if your IP and the domain is blocklisted, obviously you can work with the organization that is blocklisting, and also the email deliverability expert provide a proper reason to request to remove your IP and the domain from the block list. But they will provide you a timeline, and they are constantly monitoring you, sending best practices, again, making sure that you're not making the same mistake. And then, if you're following all of that, then your IP and the domain will be intact. But if you again miss it, you think, okay, I'm setting it nicely, but again, you did not really care much about the best practices, and you started just sending it to the wrong people again, wrong content. There's no guarantee that your IP and the domain will not be blacklisted. So it's very important to make sure you follow this in a long term. Okay. And it's not that the deliverability expert just can sit and work with you all the best practices for every single campaign that you're executing. That's going to be too much. He or she can guide you and provide you the valuable feedback, and you have to implement those best practices and take it and put it in practice long term. That way, the expert is not just babysitting for every single campaign that you're sending. So just to conclude and sum it up, so the deliverability expert can get 100% email deliverability long term, close to 100%, not exactly 100%. And again, they don't have a magic hand to really solve 100% of your problems. You just have to follow the best practices based on their guidelines and achieve the right results. It's not that you just work with an expert for a week and then it's all going to be fine. It's a long-term thing. Not that the person is actually going to work 8 hours, 3 to 6 months, but on and off, 3 to 6 months, have somebody who is helping you, taking a look at your campaign statistics, make sure you're following the best practices and you are trained on how to do this in a long term. Just work with an expert, like 3 to 6 months duration. On and off, again, it's just going to be on demand kind of an engagement, as you know. Initially, it may be a little bit lengthy assignment while you're getting the audit report. Again, what it means, it could be 8 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours. I don't know. It all depends on how deep you want to go in the audit report. Or it can be just 3-4 hours worth of time, 6 hours worth of time to just get the audit report. It all depends. But you need somebody who is helping you on demand basis with your campaign statistics, reputation, deliverability score, and whatnot. It may seem like it's a lot of expense, but it's not true. You're actually going to benefit in a long term. So again, this engagement is going to be on demand basis, as in when you need, but have somebody who is actually there to support you when you need it. It's instead of burning your hands, sending out to wrong audience, wrong content, and getting a bad reputation. You would want to work with an expert who can actually take a look at your infrastructure, campaigns, and everything, and then guide you properly. And it'll really pay off in the long term. We have gathered information from various sources, especially MailTrap. This is the place we got the knowledgeable feedback and information about this presentation. And again, we are here to help you. Any questions? This is my personal contact information and the company information as well. The website info. Any questions, feel free to reach us out. This is a weekly webinar. Every Thursday, it happens 6 a.m. Hawaii time. And again, I did take a break for a few weeks as I was not available on a regular basis. Going forward, I would be taking weekly webinars unless I'm taking a break. And if you're new to MassMailer, here is a link to get on a free trial. We can help you get on a free trial, help you set up the trial as well. Once again, any questions you have, please feel free to contact us. Once again, thank you so much for joining this webinar today. Have a great day, have a great evening, have a great night. Thank you.